So last week, President Trump, in saying why he doesn't want additional funding for the Postal Service, said, quote, now they need that money in order to make the post office work so it can take all of these millions and millions of ballots. But if they don't get those two items, it means you can't have universal mail-in voting because you're not equipped to have it. But on the other hand, the Postmaster General this morning saying that ballots will be prioritized and so people shouldn't worry. What do you hope to accomplish by suing?
Well, we would like for the Postmaster General and the Post Office to restore the services that was disrupted, the taking out of the sorting machines. They made changes without following their own internal procedures. That's what we're suing about. But the fact that this administration would destroy an American institution with the express purpose of influence the outcome of the election is appalling. This Postmaster General is one of the largest donors to the president. He was put in place specifically to create an atmosphere of disruption for the election. But unfortunately, the impact is on our military veterans and many others who depend on the Postal Service for their medications and other important items. And we should not stand by as a society and allow an American institution to be destroyed to manipulate the outcome of an election.
But now that the Postmaster General says that he hasn't had a conversation with the president since the president called to congratulate him on the appointment, and that any changes in the Postal Service will be delayed until after the election and sort of these restorations of services, that does seem to be what he's saying. Does that address the issues that you have that led you to sue?
Well, to say there be no further changes will not address the past changes that have taken place over the last couple of weeks, particularly the removal of the sorting machines and the tamping down of postal workers from receiving overtime pay when there is a backlog. We are in the midst of a health pandemic, a federal crisis. This administration have refused to proceed in a manner in which we can protect our citizens. This only exaggerates the issue when you eliminate options for Americans who are trying to navigate this health pandemic and forcing them to choose between their health and their constitutional right to vote. And on top of that, you take a very viable tool away from them so that they cannot participate. It's unconscionable what's taking place on top of the collateral damage with the many Americans who rely on the Postal Service for their medication.
I hear you, and I wonder, though, how we're to tell what the motivations really are. I'm not sure the motivation so much matter as the reality on the ground of what the Postal Service is really equipped to do. Are you looking for specific oversight to be able to understand what the capacity is of the Postal Service ahead of an unprecedented number of mail-in ballots? What are the facts that we can get that would either reassure you and other people who are concerned about the state of the Postal Service, or provide a benchmark for what level of service is going to be needed in order to serve this election?
But oversights are already in there. That's already in place. That's what we're suing about. They did not follow their own internal procedures to make such drastic changes. And as a result of that, the changes that were made need to be restored so we can continue to get the reliable service of the Postal Service. The motivation behind it was expressly stated by the president on last week. And when one of his key contributors were placed in this position, there doesn't need to be a conversation. It is understood. There are many who are aligned with this president to try to do all they can to manipulate the outcome of the election to keep him in office. That shouldn't be the case. There is nothing more that can happen other than restore the services of the post office. It was not broken. There was nothing to be fixed. You are saying that you're making something that was already more efficient, less efficient, by saying you're doing it to make it efficient. That's illogical. Restore the services that was taken away over the last couple of weeks. It's good you're not going to make any further changes, but restore the changes you've already made.